I just want to get an idea of your background. I'm guessing that most of you guys are from some kind of motion graphics kind of businesses, right? So this is who does production, like 2D, 3D? Okay. Who is a producer, project manager? Okay. My wife is a project manager, so I know what you guys do. A lot of people think the project manager don't do anything, but I know. Who is musician? Performing artists, like dancers. Programmers, computer programmers. Okay. Anyone like installation artist, like public art? Painters, sculptors. So all like this. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So so today we're going to talk about. Well, actually, I want to show you guys what is projection mapping. It's such a short workshop, so my intention is not to teach you all the details. It's more about want you guys to know what you can do with it. Just to kind of give you a background of my work. Right now, I do stuff like this. I do a lot of installation work. I think I should just do that, right? Okay, site-specific work, immersive art installation, projection mapping. But I studied illustration and graphic design. I worked as a web designer. And then when I was working, I went to a personal school of design, but I was born and raised in Japan, and I came to the States to study. And I started working as web designer, but then that time that I always liked creating little animations. So one of the first internship I got was at the MTV.com, the Viacom. I don't know if you guys, some of you guys might be too young, but anyway, so that time was kind of a big thing. So I got really into entertainment industry. So I worked with VH1, Nickelodeon, Sci-Fi Channel, stuff like that. But then I was working as a web designer, but then I started making a lot of little animations. And then, by the time I got really into animation, I really wanted to become animator. But then I feel like I was too late. I did a lot of animation for online, like flash animations, online animations. But then I felt that I was a little bit too late to start. I wanted to become a motion graphic artist, but I feel like the ship sailed. I would say, right? So it's like, how can I like show my work outside of the screen? Not in the internet. And then I started doing VJing. Do you guys know what the VJing is? Okay, because I thought, I'm kind of impatient, right? So instead of sending out and trying to promote it to TV, I just wanted to show it to people outside of computer. So I just thought, okay, so VJing might be good. I just have to go out there in the club and just mix it. And then that VJing turned out that it was the beginning movement of projection mapping. So what we're going to use the program called MadMapper. It's actually made by almost all of them used to be VJ. So there's this little history behind it. So that if you see, you can just Google a lot of projection mapping artists. Most of them became more installation artists, but their background is actually VJ. So I used to VJ a lot until like 2007 or something. And then projection mapping came really strong. So we all started blending in. So I just want to show you guys. So this is a kind of quick kind of step up down. So right now, this is the kind of work I do. Now I'm just going to talk over it. So these days, it's kind of like a trendy thing for developers to make kind of custom-made LCD screen in the lobby. So this is kind of like a market for me at this point. So I provided video contents for them. This is actually projection mapping. I also did brand collaboration. This is Times Square. Okay, all right, so stuff like that. Okay, so this gets a little bit academic, but I just want to kind of explain about what is projection mapping. Because if you just put, do you guys know, you know in Disneyland they have this, what do you call that, headbutts with the talking heads, right? Okay, so that's considered to be like a very first projection mapping installation, but academically speaking, it's not. It's because of this definition of it. So basically, to be projection mapping installation or immersive projects, that you have to sort of cover this kind of steps in a way. So the concept and sketch, selection of site, technical requirements, content creation, and installation. So it cannot be just for just video projection. Okay, so there's wide range of projection mapping installations. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys the. Okay, just talk about it. There's an artist called Tony Auster, American artist. So I can just show you. I don't know, anyone of you seen his work?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So he's like the father of projection mapping. Well, I would say like immersive art. He's been around for a long time, but I kind of think that his work is underrated for considering what he has achieved. So basically, he's the first artist who actually used the projectors as part of his work. And then interesting about his work is that he takes the gallery space, museum space, and places the installation in the space where people can walk through it. So this is, to me, it's like very first immersive installation work. Okay. So I'm showing all this so that there are actually different types of stuff. Maybe you could use it for some of your work, personal work, or maybe for commercial work. So this is kind of like more like Illustrator kind of approach to it. Okay, so here I want to point out a few interesting things. When you do installation work, of course, ideally, if everyone can go visit, that'd be great. But most likely, most of the people end up seeing it through web. So it's extremely important to actually you take this documentation as sort of like recreation of the experience. So you experience your art, immersive art. So that's also the reason why to give an idea to people like how the installation works in terms of the environment and put it into some kind of context. So that's the reason why I believe, I never asked him, but that he showed up. You remember he showed up, his face there? He's going to show up again. It's because the reason why we do that is that so that the people who watch actually get the sense of the size. And this is extremely important. Like a lot of times that when I teach at the university projection mapping, I always tell students to just make sure you do the documentation. And not just that object itself, but also the surrounding. Because you have to read the documentation itself. It's not for the archival issue. So he showed up twice, yeah. So that you get the idea of what it would be like to be there. Okay. So there's a bit of a story. There was a group called Anti-VJ. So I guess they used to be VJ and they became Anti-VJ. But, so he was one of the founding members. So this Anti-VJ, I can't remember, 4 or 5 of them, they split out. And now each of them is such an important figure in the projection mapping field, and he's one of them. So he does, I mean, technically it's quite simple. If you see this, just projection on the wall. But what's really interesting about this work is this. If you see this, you can tell that he used the either wall decal or the painted on the wall. And this actually really talks about the true imitation of the projection work. So basically in projection, you can never project shadow. You can never project black. So that even when you shut off the light, even the no light condition, light is still coming out. So meaning you can never just create the complete shut-off. So this work, since he used the decal or the painted on the wall, he created basically the darkest in the range, which is black. So that is, it can be kind of subtle, but when you look at his work and look at other work, his work just comes out a lot more vivid. And I think it's just because he uses the wall decal with black to actually cover the darkest point. So in projection field, the darkest point of your work is always the darkest point of the space. So when we shut off the light, and then when we project the light, the darkest part is most likely very not so dark. And so that's the kind of limitation of it. Okay. This is kind of trendy thing these days, immersive venues. I don't know if you've seen Van Gogh's immersive installation. So this was the kind of like original one. This is from Japan. There's a company or the group called Team Love. They took this entire the venue, the buildings, and they just rigged the whole space with these projections and a lot of other stuff. So this is kind of like a starting point where a lot of people realize that the immersive space can actually be commercially successful rather than just being part of the museums or the cultural event. So this is kind of like a touristic spot in Tokyo now. And then going back to this limitation of light, I actually went there some years ago, and then besides all this amazing technology they used, and what really impressed me is that the entire wall, the space is actually all gray. It's like around this color, and that is actually very clever because if they actually painted the entire space in white, like what we normally do for projection, there's too much light bouncing back and forth, and everything just becomes really faded. So the fact that they used gray is actually very clever, and then considering they did that maybe 10 years ago, that's pretty amazing. And next time you go to museum where they actually have projected images, you can pay attention. Some of the museums started actually realizing that the projecting onto the white wall is not the best way. So I was in MoMA a couple years ago, and then as soon as I saw, I noticed that the image has very high contrast, and I went there to, I guess I'm like one of the annoying, like tourists. I was just doing like this. Then I actually noticed they actually painted the wall, that except for in gray. So I was like, oh wow, that's great. So I'm guessing that there are we're going to see more and more projection screens in gray rather than white. This is just very kind of typical thing that you think about when you think about projection mapping. So just going to kind of skip that. Like a lot of effects. A lot of these events tend to happen in Europe, and I can think of a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is that to do something like this is a public event, so you need a lot of public funding. So historically speaking, European countries tend to have a lot of investment for the public art. So that's one. Another thing is that to make this kind of thing happen, the building has to be kind of like off-white, kind of the surface plus the small windows or no windows. And then, so if you think about it, like I say, New York, I mean, buildings are pretty old, but still, like comparison to these buildings, that it's quite new. So there are too many windows. That's really difficult to do a projection. So recently they did this Godzilla projection in Empire State Building, and then when I saw it, I can even feel the pain from the projectionist. I was like, oh my God, poor them. But they made it work, but it's just nothing like this. You just cannot really do it. So this is kind of interesting thing. Anyway, with the photography, she's just one of the kind of newcomers, I think, but her work is pretty amazing. She obviously comes from the studio photography background.
Backdrop projection. By aiming the projector so that it only hits the surface behind the subject, I can use it to create full backdrops or different shapes. Volumetric. I position the projector either above or behind my subject, angling it towards the camera. Then I fill the room with fog so that the light has something to reflect off of, enabling me to see the light beams. Be mindful of the type of projector you use when doing this. My projector has a classic lamp. Lasers and laser projectors have been known to damage camera sensors. Can you think of any other creative ways to use a projector?
Okay, so this is one of them. So this is my work. I just wanted to kind of show. There's also another type called pop-up mobile projection. I made it up, but like a lot of people just do that. So, the one way to do it is just one of the restrictions that you have when you do projection mapping is that you're always restricted to the power source. So if you make it mobile, you can go anywhere. So this is the project that I did started during the pandemic. So I came up with this rig where I can carry everything in a small shopping cart. So this is also possible. And in other words, something like this wouldn't have been possible maybe 7 years ago. It's just because of the size of the battery. Now you can get powerful battery. You can actually support quite bright projectors. And this wasn't really doable before. So, as you know, that you guys use a lot of equipment, so things just get smaller and lighter and more powerful. So, stuff like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to fast forward because we don't have much time. Also, this bird nest. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of projection mapping outdoor, and the one thing I learned is that you can actually do projection with quite a decent amount of ambient light. You just have to look for the shadow. So when we start playing with this, you see what I mean. That you can actually do projection like in a very bright room, even in the daytime, if you can find the shadow. So you can actually create projectable area artificially, and you can create the projection with that. So this is kind of like a trick that you can do. No, I'm projecting this one. This animation is an art project. So yeah, I left that out. I just thought it was kind of interesting because people always ask me like, how can you do that outdoor?
Someone passes by.
So
Good shot. It is cool, man. I was like, what the hell is that? Thank you.
It's when you go out in public or nature, it's just there are a lot of the sort of unexpected thing. When I started doing it, it was really difficult for me. So you see that the camera was moving because I got scared. So I was like ready to just go. So I grabbed the tripod, and then just I'm a student. I just told myself I'm a student. I'm doing this for school project, and then I was there myself. But anyway, it's to me it's kind of. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but when I started doing the VJing, one of the thing that was that I wanted to go outside of my comfort zone, like literally. So that I was doing a lot of work on the computer, and then I just thought that being out there in a club or whatever, I thought just sort of like a good discipline. That is no pain, no gain, right? Anyway, okay. So there's a different type of political thing. Beyonce also did that years ago. Typical one, big event. They also use it for a lot of collaboration work, branding. She's actually from one of the members from the anti-VJ. And this is interesting. I don't know if you remember the woman who did this photo shoot inside of the small studio. So she uses a lot of fog machine, right? That's also that you can use it as part of your work. And then there's an artist called Anthony McCall, and he does this thing where he has the simple projectors and they fill the space with smoke. And he calls it light sculpture or something like that. And the first time I saw that, I used to have a studio close to where they set this thing up. So I saw that, and I just thought it was Photoshop. And I was like, yeah, sure. And when I went there, it was actually like this. It's amazing. It's just you walk in the space, and you can see this. And you walk through it. So this is also one of the sort of experimental thing you can do. This live tracking is it's a big topic that we always talk about. It is possible, but it's just not in a consumer level yet. But I'm just hoping that something like this is just comes in handy. So this is basically just tracking the facial points. But this before AI. So they just have these points and they just track it. But I think with AI, it's maybe a little bit better now. So you can see the little points there. So just tracking the face and then the image is moving. Yep. Okay. So this is one. After this, we're going to get to the MadMapper that we're going to show. So this is a film that I made. So I was making a lot of 2D animations, and then this was, I think, maybe 2000, maybe 14. I can't remember. I got the funding from Channel 4 in UK, and then they commissioned me to make 2 animations. So I told them that, okay, so I can do one animation with my 2D style, but another one I wanted to do something experimental. So they told me that, yeah, whatever, just do it and just get it done. And then, but so I was already doing the projection mapping that time. So I decided to make a film with it. So conceptually speaking, this is sort of like reverse in a way, because when you do projection mapping, the mapped installation is the final product, but whereas in this case, you project it and you record it and you edit, and then you package it as the film. So this was the sort of like experimental in a way. So this is the program, the MadMapper, that we're going to use. So it's very simple process. You map it, and then wherever that you don't want the image to show up, you mask it. So that's sort of like a basic concept behind it. In this case, I had what they call Pico projector, which we're going to use in there. So you can also move around. My plan is I'm just going to show you guys very simple explanation about the interface and then the idea behind it. And then after that, thinking that like 2 people just go to the station and then to do the same thing that I did, and then every 5 minutes we rotate. So and then we can try to get to as many people as possible. And when you do that, do you guys have any like movie or animation contest on your phone? Or like images? Because when you actually get to the station, if you can airdrop it and use your image and then map it. But what I'm really hoping is that you record yourself and then put it there. Yeah. Can we do that? So all you have to do is you can just record yourself. But the idea, if you do that with like black background, that would be good. And you can just record yourself and horizontally. Horizontally, you just record yourself, or have someone to record it, and you bring that and just map it there. So that at the end, we have everyone there. Okay. So just start. So I know you don't, most of you are just going to be watching. So I'll just try to kind of explain about the interface in a way so that you more like understand the logic behind. Okay. Okay. So so this is the interface. So as I mentioned, remember that this program comes from the community where people used to VJ, right? So that's the idea. So they're not like Adobe or Microsoft people. So they have a completely different logic. And it's quite a small community. The company which made this called GarageQ. And then I actually know someone. Oh yeah, actually she's a representative of this application in New York. I actually didn't know that until recently. And then when you go to VJ event or something and someone from this team just shows up kind of stuff. And then, anyway, but at the same time, it's a very, very popular program. And the reason why I use this program, MadMapper, is extremely stable. So what we're going to do is what we call, what I would call live mapping, where you can just map it live. But then this, you can use it for permanent installation. You can even do the whole stage show. So this program itself is going to that direction where you can actually control lighting and LED lights and then even some kind of interactive elements to it. So it's going to the direction of it. So it's quite a deep. But then the good thing about this program is that just by like doing this simple sort of like trial and exercise, and you can actually start mapping like right away. Okay. All right. So here, when you look at the interface, we have left, middle, and right. And just remember that this program is not like, it's kind of like After Effects in a way that it really doesn't really render anything. It's all about linking. It's not like a Photoshop where you have everything in the layers and it's all rendered. Whereas the After Effects, you link everything except the, I guess, shape layer. But so there's nothing native in this program. Everything just comes from the outside, so you link it. So literally, it's the only thing this one does to actually map the contents that you import. Yeah. Okay. So here, we call it quad, but this is kind of like a layer, or if it's After Effects, it's like a comp. So without anything, nothing shows up in the stage, right? So it's the same logic behind that. Like unless you put something here, nothing shows up. So here, as soon as I put the quad, it shows up here. This is actually the stage, and this is the preview, sort of. So if the computer is connected, if the projector is connected, this is what people see already. Okay, like this. And then there are different quad. And there are a few things I just don't really understand. Like why would anyone need triangle? But like I'm not really, like I never really had to use it. But a circle, yeah. Yeah, circle is useful, but triangle is still kind of, yeah, understand. So what you do is just basically you creating the sort of like layer, but we call it quad. But what this one does is that it actually let you place graphic into it. But normally what you want to do is just to actually map the surface by using the quad first. And then once you actually map the surface, you start loading the images in. Okay, so let's just say, like if I'm just trying to map the box, right? Okay. Next one. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm just going to do this. Right. So if the projector is connected and if I'm mapping the box just like this, I'm done. So this is actually, we're done. And then all you have to do is just load the image in. And this is how simple that is. And then the good, I mean, so you would think like, why would we need this? Right? So like, this is too simple. To me, the benefit of this program is that, so this area here is actually 3D environment. Okay, so it works with the perspective. So if the object looks like this from the projector's point of view, right? When you do projection mapping, we have, I would say like you have to think about like 3 different perspectives, point of views. One is the projector's point of view, meaning what the projector's lens sees. That's basically what you have to do. And then other thing is that where you stand, where you set up your station, is your perspective. But what's actually most important thing is what people see. So when you do the mapping, you have to constantly move around. So in other words, those like large-scale projection mapping you see in the big buildings is surprisingly really easy. So and also those huge mapping outdoor installations, basically don't even need to do this. You just place and just tweak a little bit, and you have to mask it, and it's done. So more the work is more done for the setting up the projector part, and that's more with the installation company, and it has a lot of the different techniques to do. You have to change the lens and stuff like that. The mapping itself on the software part is really easy. So something like this in some way harder than the big buildings in some way. Okay, all right. So once you map it, okay, what you can do is here you can import images or movies. So you just go to click on the movies. Oh, wait. Okay, so wait. My screen went blank, so okay, clips. Okay, so just some random. What is this one? I don't know what it is. Okay, so here, and then so once you have the images. So this is, I think this is where kind of BJ thing comes in. So you select the quad, and then here, you click this one here to load it. And then you go live, that's it. And then, it is true, like if you actually, like just, I just want to cover it, but if you actually don't change this part here, it gets distorted. So this works as a selection tool of this. And then you just repeat the process. Oh wait, I want to use this one, yeah. And then just I select this. Okay, so that. Okay, so I think we have enough to start already.
MadMapper, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much.